Brew, who's more likely to be exposed here? Mahomes without Tyreek or Tua with him?
All right, let me just throw this possibility out there because everybody's assuming Allen was talking about Mahomes, which he probably was. Probably Mahomes and Travis Kelce because he said people. But I'm just going to throw it out there that he may have been talking about Tua. But to answer your question, Patrick Mahomes is not getting exposed. And I said yesterday I think Tua will do well, Coach, with all the weapons around him. But I'm just saying there's no chance that Patrick Mahomes will not play well without Tyreek Hill. Now, he might not do what he did with Hill necessarily, but he's legitimately a great quarterback, Tyreek Hill or not. All right, he's still got good receivers, Mecole Hardman, Juju Smith-Schuster. We know yesterday they signed Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and not to mention Travis Kelce. So he'll do very well without Tyreek Hill. And here's some numbers. Look, small sample size, but 5 games without Tyreek, he's been phenomenal. 350 yards a game, great passer rating, 8 TDs, 1 pick. So Patrick Mahomes isn't going anywhere. So while I do think Tua will be successful, Coach, if anybody's going to be exposed, it's going to be Tua.
Well, the exposure part to me for Patrick Mahomes comes from where he is now, and then you eat up that much of the salary cap, and you get paid what he gets paid, and now you have the expectations that he has. There is the thought or belief that you should be able to go take players that don't get paid as much, or players that are young and that you draft and be able to turn them into stars because of how good you are. And the great quarterbacks can do that. They're star makers. So there were some cracks in his armor last year, and we're really going to get to see whether he is a legitimate force multiplier, star maker, that part. That's where his exposure is. With Tua, he can't now say, I don't have enough weapons. He can't say that they haven't tried to support him. He's got tremendous exposure in terms of whether or not he's truly a franchise quarterback. So that's his exposure. But I see some exposure for Kansas City's front office. I mean, the great players in that organization were drafted by John Dorsey, whether it's Mahomes, Hill, Kelce, Hunt. I mean, he picked up those guys, and now you're looking at a situation where the drafts haven't been as impressive.
And they, this regime traded a first and stuff for Frank Clark. And while Frank was great in the Super Bowl run, I think he's been underwhelming since then. I would say in defense of the Chiefs front office, this last draft was fantastic. You got 2 excellent offensive linemen without using a first-round pick in Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith. Nick Bolton was one of the best defensive rookies in football, but that was their first really good draft of the regime. So I think that's fair. But I obviously nobody believes that I believe Mahomes is going to get exposed. So I want to talk about the person who said the quote. Hey, Keenan Allen, I know it's frustrating that the Chiefs have kicked your teeth in every year since your rookie season. Been in this league almost a decade. He has beaten post-rookie season the Chiefs twice. And in one of those games, he had 0 catches for 0 yards. But do me a favor, buddy. Get to a double-digit touchdown season. Play great in one playoff run before you start chirping, okay? Who does Keenan Allen, with all due respect and with very little respect, who the hell does Keenan Allen think he is? Congrats, buddy. You're the 14th best receiver in football. I'm a bully for you, my friend. What are you talking about, man? He's going to expose some people. Worry about your own backyard, Mr. Allen. Worry about making it to the playoffs, okay? How about that? Before you start talking about the Chiefs getting exposed. I understand Keenan Allen is probably upset that he didn't get traded for by the Chiefs so he could catch passes from Patrick Mahomes, but there's no reason to lash out like this. So, because I don't think he's talking about Tua. I think he's talking about Mahomes. I think he's talking about the other Chiefs receivers. I think he's maybe talking about Mecole Hardman. So you tend to your own backyard, Keenan Allen. Give me a break. Keenan Allen made the show for the first time ever. Make a play
note to the
instead
producers.
Of a quote, buddy.
Maybe cross Keenan Allen off of our guest list. I don't think that invite is going to go that well. Coach,
no chance.
I saw a lot of people trying to spin this positive, not just on this show. They're like, thank goodness I have Travis Kelce in my fantasy dynasty. league. The idea that now there's going to be more yards to get, and Travis Kelce is going to be the beneficiary. Do you think it's a given that Travis Kelce is going to get more yards, have a statistically better season, or do you think there's a chance Travis Kelce exposes already, that Travis Kelce's production will drop because defenses now can zero in on Travis Kelce and not have to worry about Tyreek?
It's a great situation from a defensive coordinator's perspective when there's one star. And when there's one star, you can push the coverage to him, and especially if the star is in the interior part of the defense, the things that you can do with linebackers and safeties when you've got a threat on the outside and when they move that threat around like they do in Kansas City, that makes it really hard because you're trying to account for two different players and you don't know necessarily where they're going to line up. When you've just got that single guy, it changes the equation completely. They're going to need one of these receivers that they brought in or somebody that they pick up in the draft to be able to make some plays on the outside to take the pressure off Travis Kelce for him to have the same level of production.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know who was talking about this helping Travis Kelce in their fantasy league. I would not imagine that to be the case. I would imagine that this actually depresses Kelce's numbers if the receiving core stays as it is. With that said, you draft a guy or you add Odell Beckham Jr. and all of a sudden things change a bit. And I don't think the Chiefs are done. And I just want to throw this back to you quickly, Coach. Nobody would compare Marquez Valdes-Scantling to Tyreek Hill. I'm not doing that at all. What I will say is this. He is one of the fastest players in the league. And even tell me if I'm wrong on this. I'm not a leading question. It's a genuine question. When you have a quarterback with an arm as strong as Mahomes, just having that type of speed on the field, even if the player is not nearly as good as Tyreek, that naturally opens things up, right? Just by having him there because you have to account for it if a quarterback has a strong enough arm to get it to him.
Yeah, to some degree, you're going to play that player differently, but it's whether or not he can be a legitimate deep threat. And his catch percentage numbers have not been great, and his overall catches per season haven't been great. Is it good to add speed? Yeah, but the speed's got to be a legitimate home run threat that can hurt you. Otherwise, it's just not the same equation. And Nick, I know you're angry at Keenan Allen, but are you? Or are you just angry that Kansas City traded away a marquee player? And
no.
It feels like a little bit of
early in the morning.
It felt a little displaced anger there, as opposed to really being angry at Keenan Allen.
Coach, I know you're still dealing with that vacation hangover, but you were here yesterday, my friend. I'm all for this trade. I think that this is how you build a dynasty. I just don't like guys. You taught me, Coach. How about you do something in this league before you start chirping? Been in the league a decade. You know what I mean? Everybody, during the commercial break, everybody close their eyes and try to remember your favorite Keenan Allen moment. Oh, wait, you don't have one. Jeez. Exactly. So maybe pipe down, my friend. That's all I'm saying.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.